You did your 45 minutes this morning. You lifted, or you ran, or you got your steps in. Then you sat down for the next 9 hours. And here's the uncomfortable finding. For several of the systems we're about to look at, that workout did not cancel this out. Researchers have a name for this exact person, the active couch potato. Someone who hits every exercise guideline and is still sedentary for the overwhelming majority of their waking life. Exercise and inactivity aren't opposite ends of one dial. They're two separate systems, and you can max out one while the other quietly fails. Here's what's happening in your body, hour by hour while you sit. Within about 20 minutes of sitting still, the electrical activity in your legs collapses toward baseline. Your quads and glutes are the largest muscles you own. They aren't just movers, they're metabolic organs. Working muscle pulls fuel out of your blood, generates heat, and constantly signals to the rest of your body. Sitting takes your biggest metabolic organ and switches it off. Not damaged, just idle. And idle turns out to have consequences of its own. This is the mechanism most people have never heard, and it's the core of the whole video. Lining the capillaries inside your muscle sits an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. Its job is to grab fat out of your bloodstream and pull it into muscle to be burned. It's your primary fat-clearing machinery. That enzyme's activity depends on muscle contraction, and it falls off dramatically during inactivity, within hours, not days. Animal work on this found the drop is localized specifically to the inactive muscle, and it is fast. The result: fat from your last meal lingers longer in your blood instead of being cleared. And here's the cruel part: this enzyme responds to low-intensity, constant muscle activity. Standing, walking, fidgeting. It is not switched back on by one hard session 11 hours earlier. That's the biological reason I worked out today doesn't buy you the afternoon.
Now, the blood vessels in your legs. Healthy arteries flex. They widen when they need to move more blood. That flexibility depends on the friction of blood flowing across the vessel lining, which triggers the release of nitric oxide, the signal that tells the artery to relax. When you sit, blood pools in your legs, flow slows, and that friction signal drops away. 3 hours of continuous sitting has been shown to significantly impair endothelial function in the femoral artery, the main artery in your thigh. 3 hours, roughly one meeting block plus lunch. But the same research found something far more useful. When brief, modest activity breaks were introduced during the sitting, that impairment was blunted, which points at the real variable. 2 people both sit for 8 hours a day. One sits in 3 unbroken blocks. The other sits in 20 short stretches, standing up between each one. Same total, very different bodies. Your physiology isn't tracking how many hours you sat. It's tracking how long you went without contracting a muscle. Duration of the uninterrupted block is the thing that does the damage. That's genuinely good news, because it means you don't need a standing desk, a different job, or more willpower. Here's what the research actually supports. Break the block, not the day. 2 to 3 minutes of light movement every half hour restores far more than one long walk at 6 p.m. Stand up, walk to the kitchen, take the pole on your feet. Anything that contracts the large muscles counts. Calf raises under the desk, standing while you read, even fidgeting registers. And keep the workout. On top of all this, the large analyses suggest that around 60 to 75 minutes of moderate daily activity substantially offsets the mortality risk associated with long sitting hours. But that's a big dose, and it works alongside breaking up the sitting, not instead of it. Your workout builds. Your sitting hours dismantle you. They're separate ledgers, and most people are only keeping one. Stand up before you click the next video. Serious, do it now, while you're thinking about it. And if you want to see what happens when the inactivity goes from hours to weeks, that breakdown is right here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Body Answers.